Hey everybody, it's Anthony Morrison and welcome to this week's edition of our Success Connection. So first of all, I want to take a second to say thank you for all the comments last week. Everybody seemed to really be excited, and my story about the hamburger and the taking baby steps and taking things one step at a time really seemed to resonate with you. And it kind of gave me the kind of the perspective that I needed for this week. As you can imagine, when you've done now, I think I'm on almost 150 of these success connections. Sometimes you need inspiration. You need you need a little extra push to kind of know, what do I talk about? I have a couple of minutes with you every week to share some wisdom, and oftentimes I find myself juggling, what do I want to talk about? Because what's the best time spent? And this week, I think it's talking about the power of now, right? And I'll tell you why. And I've got my notes from last week when I was doing the hamburger thing, and that's what really kind of brought this about. So many of you, when you left me the comments, said, Anthony, I feel like you're talking to me, like talking directly to me when you say some of the things that you say on your videos. Like, for instance, take baby steps. I know you may be struggling. I know you may get, kind of discouraged, or I know you may have family members that are kind of negative and pushing you away from the things that you want to do and telling you to just sit at your regular job and don't worry about this internet stuff. It doesn't happen for people like you, and all of those things. And a lot of you will sit there and you'll say, I really, it resonated with me. I feel like you're talking directly to me. And I think it's important for you to realize that the reason that you feel that way is because I'm talking about things that I live every single day, right? I can't get up here and talk about negative people having maybe a bad impact on you if I haven't had that same thing happen in my life. I've learned through my experience with negative people in my life, with mistakes, with the obstacles I've had to go through, with trying to tackle, and eat a big old hamburger, without cutting it into little pieces and taking baby steps. I mean, these are things that I have experienced in my business, in my life, even when I do things like this. I mean, even when I am writing and doing my success connections, I still struggle sometimes, right? There are a lot of things that we all struggle with, and it's important to put them into perspective, right? I mean, for me, most people say, well, you sit up here and you've got this big business and you've sold all these books and all these people love you and all this stuff, and you get all these comments and your life must be perfect. But the reality of it is that what fueled me to even do this was massive loss, devastation, terrible stuff that I still live with every day. We all still live with things from our past, right? I watched my dad go through a terrible time in his life. I watched my whole family structure kind of crumble because my dad lost all this money in the stock market. My mom freaked out. I freaked out. I thought I was going to have to leave school. My sister and my brother didn't even know if they were going to get to go to college. I mean, those are things that might be in the past, but they affect who I am today, right? And so a lot of you, when you hear these things, you think of things that have happened in your past and that have affected you in the way that you live your life today. And I find myself sometimes, I go down this rabbit hole, right? I start thinking about how I got here, and then I'll kind of wander off, right? Like if I'm kind of in this little funnel, right, trying to kind of visualize why I'm here and where I'm going, sometimes I'll kind of divert, right? And I'll go out here into these negative things, right? I'll start thinking about, how my dad lost all this money, and then I'll get really worried and I'll think, maybe I should stop everything that I'm doing and I should just focus on taking care of my family, because that's what really got me started. Maybe I shouldn't be so into my business and all of the different things that I'm doing. Maybe I should just focus on this. And I get this whole negative energy because I'm thinking about negative things from my past, and it can really mess up my week. It can really mess up a lot of things that I do. And I know that it can do the same for you. So the important thing is for you to never forget, okay? Never forget how you got to where you're at. You don't have to forget the negative things that have happened to you in your life, because they kind of help shape who you are. But it's important to live in the now, right? To focus on what's happening today, to focus on how Maybe these negative things, like in my life, have inspired me to do so many other things that I feel like are so great, to be able to start charities for, little kids, to be able to help all of you with internet marketing, and to be able to help you with the things that I've learned. And all of that came from this negative. So rather than living in the past, I recognize the past is there, but I live in the now. And I think that's so important for all of you to do, is make sure that no matter what you're going through in life, no matter what you've been through in life, try to put it in perspective. Leave the past in the past and focus on today, focus on tomorrow, live in the now. Take all the lessons that you've learned and apply them to being a successful internet entrepreneur. Because there's no doubt that anybody can be successful online. Anybody can be successful at anything. As long as you put your mind to it, you have positive energy, and you have a good plan. And I've done my very best to keep you positive every single week, to give you a good plan, a good educational resource through whatever, books, programs, whatever, to help you have the material and education that you need to have success. And it's up to you to stay positive, live in the now, right? Instead of in the past with all of the negative things that may have happened in your life. Focus on today, focus on the now, and do what you got to do in order to be successful. And just know that I'm here every step of the way. I'm going to be here doing our weekly Success Connections. I'm going to be here pumping out more articles on my blog and whatever I can do to help you be successful. So hopefully this is a good lesson for you, just a good tip on how to keep your mindset right for having success. If you love it, if you have any comments for me, leave them below. I love to be able to read them. I love to be able to get the feedback so that I can make sure that when I spend our time here, I'm spending it wisely. So what did you think about this lesson today? Is it something that you see could benefit you in your success, in your business, and in your life? Leave me some comments. Click the Facebook button and the Twitter button. Share this with your friends, and I'll see you here next week on the Success Connection.